A game? We are not ready for an actual game. Dex's eyebrows furrows above his glasses as his hands flail widely in the air. We don't even have enough people for a team. I know that, Tamika says calmly. That's why I told my cousin to only bring 4 of their players. Dex's breathing evens, but only slightly. I don't know, Tamika. I still don't think we're ready. We haven't even learned any plays. Personally, I don't feel... Look, Tamika says, cutting him off. We're never going to feel ready until we have a reason to get ready. The Fall Invitational is around the corner. If we want to compete, we have to take this seriously. What happened to us being optimistic? Dex nods, but his face is still crumpled with concern. Nearby, Chris and Anthony only shrug. Anthony needs minimal convincing from Tamika to do just about anything. As for Chris, he's simply there to hold up his end of the deal with Dex so he can pass creative writing. I really think we'll be fine, Tamika adds. Like, for real, everybody on my cousin's team is literally 10 years old. This should have brought Dex a moment of relief, but as soon as Tamika finishes speaking, the 10U Lorraine Lady Legion comes busting through the gym doors. The girls may be 10 and under, but Dex can't help but notice that they're taller and likely stronger than he is. There's a period of awkward hellos and competitive sizing up before Principal Kim takes her position as the referee. Minutes later, the game begins. During the first couple minutes of the play, Tamika's prophecy appears to be accurate. Chris makes a couple of easy layups on fast breaks, and Tamika hits a couple of mid-range jumpers to keep the score close and early on. At the same time, Anthony is displaying Rodman-like presence on D, shutting down the paint with relative efficiency. While Dex does a pretty good job not turning the ball over, it's a minor achievement and an important one, especially considering Dex's skill level just a few weeks before. Unfortunately, as the game wears on, Hoop Group's collective effort just isn't enough. Like the Tin Man without a heart or Phil Jackson without a triangle, the Hoop Groupers are incomplete. They're a jumble of parts without glue to hold them together. By the beginning of the second half, the Lady Legion has fully adjusted their defense, double-teaming Tamika and forcing Hoop Group into a slower half-court offense. Eventually, the shots stop falling, and without the ability to create momentum, the Hoop Group defeat becomes inevitable. Once the game has ended and the fifth graders head back out the double doors, slapping fives and shouting praise, Dex's heart goes hollow with envy. He wants that kind of chemistry for Hoop Group, but at this point, they'll be lucky if they get a fifth player. As practice ends, the Hoop Groupers gather on the bleachers to commiserate. What are we going to do now? Dex says, his eyes fixed on hard, dry wad of gum stuck to the bleachers below him. Yeah, Anthony says, chiming in. It's not a good look to lose to a bunch of 10-year-olds. Tamika's eyes jump from Dex to Anthony. Are y'all serious right now? She says, I can't believe y'all are talking like this. Maybe we lost, but at least we look like a team. There's more than I could say last week. She turns her attention to Anthony specifically. Anthony, you're moving your feet so well and actually sliding on defense now. Once you learn to keep your arms straight up instead of hacking the shooter, nobody's going to be able to score on you. Dex watches as Anthony, blushing, drops his head. And you, Dex, Tamika continues, we're still working on your shot, but your ball handling is a lot better. You're protecting the ball when you dribble, and on defense, you're understanding how to force the guards to go to their dominant side. Tamika then turns to Chris, but before she can say anything, he holds up a hand up to stop her. I don't need you to critique my game, Chris says. I know I can hoop. Tamika rolls her eyes. I'm just saying, though, it really doesn't matter how well anybody's playing. This whole thing is still a waste of time. Excuse me, Tamika says. If you're trying to have a basketball team with 4 people, you're wasting your time. Y'all might be cool with that, but I'm not. I'm running back and forth between here and Y, trying to make Hoop Group and the Ballers work, all because y'all said this was going to be a real team. Tamika rolls her eyes again. Are you even trying to find somebody else? All at once, 3 sets of eyes turn toward Tamika, searching for answers. What about Jaden? Chris says. I thought y'all said y'all could get him to come back. Tamika fidgets, pulling on a stray curl near her ear. Finally, without a trace of confidence, she says, he'll be here. Jaden's been busy, but he'll be here soon. While the hoop groupers were trying to hold court against the Lady Legion, Jaden was in the midst of his own battle, trying to find a job. As he was getting ready for the bed the night before, Jaden told his mother that he wanted to help out, that he was going to figure out a way to earn some money while she looked for her next gig. Jaden expected his mother to be proud that he was stepping up as the man of the house, to maybe even reward him with a hug or a kiss. He got neither. Instead, Jaden's mother broke down in tears and ran from his room. Moments later, Grams appeared with a glass of chocolate milk for Jaden and a mug of tea for herself. He could smell the lavender as soon as she hit the door. Grams sat on the edge of Jaden's bed and muttered a prayer to Jesus under her breath, and she told him that she thought about his plan. "It is not your responsibility to earn money for this family," she'd said. "We're the adults, so that's our job. Right now you need to focus on being a kid and doing well in school, and playing basketball at Willowbrook Academy if that's what you really want to do. Focus on the things that are important to you and let your mom and me take care of the rest. Besides," Grams added before taking his empty glass and sending Jaden to the bathroom to brush his teeth, "you're too young to get a job anyways." Once Graham finished, Jaden could see why his mom had been upset enough to cry. He hadn't considered the shame she must have felt when her 12-year-old son offered to get a job because she wasn't bringing in any money. Ultimately, though, neither Graham's nor his mother's feelings could keep Jaden from doing what he felt he must. As Graham's eyelids grew heavy from her sleepy time tea, Jaden told her that he understood, that he was going to focus on school and basketball. But then, as soon as she left and Jaden found himself alone in the dark with only his thoughts to keep him company, he began piecing together a strategy. Now, just an hour into his search for work, just 60 minutes of walking up and down the streets of Lorraine's business district, Jaden has realized that Grams was right about at least one thing. He hasn't found a single business interested in hiring a 12-year-old. Jaden had been turned away by a pet store, a fast food chain, and a dry cleaner. His last-ditch effort was Slice, the local pizza joint just a few blocks from Carter Middle. "Hi," Jaden says to the ponytailed teenager at the hostess stand. "I'm Jaden, and I was wondering if y'all were hiring for any extra help." He pauses briefly before pushing the rest of his words out back to back in rapid succession. "I know I'm young, but I can clean tables or bathrooms. I can do whatever. I just really, really, really need to work." Jaden lowers his head and, with his eyes, traces the diamond pattern on the tile beneath his feet. He braces himself for what he knows will happen next, the moment when the hostess will tell him that she's sorry but they can't hire him, that he should come back when he's 16. "Nice to meet you, Jaden. I'm Lillian," he hears instead. "Nice to meet you," Jaden says as he lifts his eyes. Lillian smiles. "I've been working here since I was 13, so I get it. I'm not sure if my boss is hiring right now, but he's really cool. I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you either way." "Great," Jaden says, still surprised. "Thank you." Lillian offers another reassuring smile. "If you wait here, I'll run and get him." Jaden thanks Lillian again and waits patiently while she disappears into the kitchen at the back of the restaurant. A few minutes later, Jaden sees Roddy walking toward him in a black apron with a Slice logo on the front. "What up, Jaden?" Roddy says, smiling as he reaches him. "Lillian told me you're looking for work." Jaden shifts his weight. "Yeah, I am, but are you the manager?" Roddy chuckles and strokes his goatee. "Nah, man, I'm not the manager. I'm the owner." Roddy and Jaden take a seat at the empty booth near the kitchen entrance while Jaden tells Roddy all about his family situation. He tells him that his mother lost her job, that even though she and his grandmother are looking for work, they need money for the mortgage and utilities right now. "I'm sorry to hear that," Roddy says, "but I'm glad you came and asked for help." He pauses, takes a look around the restaurant as if taking inventory of his needs. "I can't let you wait tables. It's against the law at your age. But I tell you what, if you can keep the tables clean, make sure the trash gets taken out regularly, and help wash dishes during busy shifts, you got yourself a job." Jaden doesn't ask when he can start. He doesn't even ask how much he's going to make. He already up from the table, shaking Roddy's hand and grinning from ear to ear. "Thank you so much, Roddy," he says. "I promise to be the best dishwasher and trash taker-outer you've ever seen." "I'm gonna hold you to that," Roddy says, laughing. "But before you go, I got one more question for you." Seconds pass, and the smile that had just creased the corners of his eyes are now gone. What about basketball? Slowly, Jaden slinks back into the booth, and the fox lever covering the bench squeaks beneath him. I don't know, he says after a while. I haven't really thought about it. You haven't thought about basketball? No, Jaden shakes his head. That's not what I mean. Truthfully, there is no need to ask Jaden whether he's thought about basketball, whether he's considered how long he'll have to step away from the game he's loved nearly all his life. Of course he's thought about it. It's all he ever thinks about. But there is also this. Jaden doesn't just hoop out of the love for the game. He hoops to take care of his mom, to give her everything she's never had and all she's ever deserved. This is the plan after Willowbrook, after college, after being selected as lottery pick during the NBA draft on a sticky June night. At least that was the plan. That was the plan before his mother's jerk of a boss fired her and now refuses to pay out the overtime she'd racked up. Now Jaden can't wait. His mom needs help today, and he has no choice but to step up. I'm gonna just go back to the blocks, I guess, Jaden tells Roddy. Early mornings before school, I'm gonna just keep working and training on my own. I'm not giving up. Promise.